It is finally getting to cooler temperatures where I live, and so that means that everybody is preparing for fall weather and fall season, and more importantly, Halloween. So in this video, I compiled a list of Halloween books with various different Halloween music that might be fun for you to learn. Hi, my name is Liz from Cellomoji.com, and I give you tips and tools so that you can learn your favorite music on the cello. So I don't know about you, but around where I live, Halloween is actually almost like a more celebrated holiday than even Christmas. A lot of the houses around here have all their Halloween decorations up already, and it is a great opportunity to dive into music that gets you in the spirit. So let's dive in. First off, I just want to say that a lot of these pieces are definitely transcriptions of originals. So it's not necessarily that it was originally written for cello, but someone out there transcribed it for the cello so that you could learn to play these pieces of Halloween music. So as I'm going through all this Halloween music, I'm going to give a rating from 1 to 5. 5 being very difficult, more for advanced players, and 1 being more for beginners. So first off, I'm going to first talk about these two books. It's called Witch's Brew, and the second book in the series is Wizard's Potions. So these are definitely considered level 1 books. What I love about these books is that these are more original compositions. They aren't necessarily transcriptions of popular Halloween music. So Carolyn Lumsden, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, along with Ben Atwood, compiled these Halloween songs together, and here's a kind of a snapshot of the first book here. And as you can see, there are words in it, and there are some like effects that you can also create either on your cello or like stamping your foot. If you want another video talking about effects commonly used for spooky music, you can check out my previous Halloween video, and I'll link that up above and also in the description box below. But I like these because you know, for this first book, for example, Witch's Brew, this is truly for very much beginner players. Like, in fact, it even says beginner to preliminary grade using open strings and first finger. So literally this entire first book is basically open strings or first fingers. So if you had been playing cello for a while, then maybe this is not necessarily for you, but like if you have literally just started or you're not feeling confident or you just wanted to try something different, this would be a great one. And then this level 2 one, Wizard's Potion, it definitely has more variety of notes, and it has like different rhythms in it. But what's great is it also has like suggestions at the top, like different directions, and both of these books come with a CD accompaniment. So that means that it'll have a playthrough of like what it should sound like, and then it'll have a track for just the accompaniment, so you yourself can play along with these. And I'm always a big fan of books that come with accompaniment because it's just more fun to learn these pieces of music when there's like other stuff going on. I believe these books were originally written for their kids and other little kids who wanted to learn you know, Halloweenish music. And what's really fun is that both of these books have really, really cute illustrations all throughout the book. And so these are a really great one if you're just like getting into playing cello and you just wanted something that puts you in the mood for the season. Okay, so next up we have Trick or Treat, a Halloween suite by Amanda and Jemima Oosthuizen. Again, I'm probably slaughtering their names, but what's great about this book is it has original Halloween pieces as well as some transcriptions of very well-known Halloween associated pieces of music. The beginning part actually has a bunch of the music written out as duets. So like the student would play the top line and then the teacher would play the bottom line, or if you had two cello friends who wanted to play together, they could do that. Later on in the book, they have, you know, single lines with lyrics in it. And then they have famous ones such as The Sorcerer's Apprentice. And on my screen right now, I'll kind of put a list right here of all the different pieces of music that you can find in this Halloween book. And that's something just to remember. A lot of these Halloween compilation books will have a lot of overlapping pieces of music. The only difference is what key is it written in and how complex of an arrangement is it going to be. So for this book, I give it a level 2. While a lot of this music you can play in first position, it also starts using things like extensions, and there are also a lot of sharps and flats to kind of pay attention to. I don't believe rhythms in this are necessarily very difficult, but there are some things that might be a little bit more complex, plus a little bit of shifting into, say, like second position. So it's kind of helpful to not be a complete beginner, but to have a little bit of cello experience. The other thing too, at the back of the book, there's this really neat key. So when you're going through the music, if there are some terms or some symbols that you don't know what they mean, at the back of the book there's this nice little reference here that you can use. One thing that would have been really nice but is not part of this book is a accompaniment part. The only accompaniment that is in this is if it is written out in a duo format, but otherwise this is just going to be you yourself playing through the part, which can still be fun, don't get me wrong. I love music that, you know, whether it's a accompaniment or solo, but I kind of have a preference when I'm playing fun stuff for accompaniment. So next up we have this Peanuts book. While Snoopy and the Gang is known for many different holidays, well, a close friend of mine would be a little bit upset if I didn't mention Snoopy and the Great Pumpkin. It's such a great movie. It's so cute. I love Snoopy and the Peanuts gang. And also I did actually do this video of playing through a couple of the Peanuts songs in the past. So I'll link that also up above and below. And in a future video, I'll probably compile a group of videos on different Halloween specific pieces, but I just wanted to get out a list of all the different books right now. So next up, this is a digital book of Halloween music. It's called Cello Macabre. And this one, you can see in this list that I'm putting here on the side of all the different pieces that you can find inside of it. It is mostly all transcriptions of original music transcribed for cello, and it is put in a kind of fun format. I would definitely put this book at a level 3, if not a level 4, because again, while not all the notes are the most complex it can be, you definitely want to be able to shift around your cello, and because of the nature of Halloween music being in a lot of minor keys, you want to also be familiar with extensions and flats and sharps when you're reading the music. So this one is a really fun one. I like the arrangement. It does come with a bonus second cello part. You do definitely want to become familiar with tenor clef reading as well as bass clef reading. If you need some guidance with that, you can check out my little mini course on clef mastery, where I go over how to read all 3 of the clefs that we need to know as cello players. And I'll link that up above and down below. We can't talk about Halloween without mentioning Harry Potter. Now, some people could say Harry Potter is more of a Christmas thing, but you know, it's a wizard and witches, so I don't know. I kind of associate it with Halloween. And if you are a fan of Harry Potter and that whole realm, this is a great book. This has instrumental solos, and it comes with a CD accompaniment, so you're actually playing music that can be found in the films. What's really fun is I've played in actual concerts where like the movie is playing and then the orchestra is actually playing the orchestral parts of the movie, and it's really fun. So to actually have this in this format here is also really fun because you can almost like recreate the situation, and it is not as stressful or as hard. This is definitely probably like a level 3 or 4 as well, because some of this is fairly complex in terms of rhythms, and while it is not the hardest necessarily, it is definitely a little bit more of a challenge. But again, if you know the Harry Potter films well, you'll recognize pretty much all the music that is in here. There are definitely different books of Harry Potter out there. There are ones that like are for specific movies, and then there's one that's like a compilation of everything. I believe this is from the complete film series. It says it's selections from them. So this is definitely fun for that. And I do know that this book also comes in different arrangements for different instruments. So, you know, maybe, I don't know if they're in sync, if they're all in the same key, to be honest, but it might be kind of fun to see if, say, like a violin version and the cello version is the same or not. So anyways, here's the Harry Potter. It's definitely a big compilation of different pieces of music, so always fun to play during the Halloween season. So this next compilation of music is called the Halloween Collection, and you can find it on virtualsheetmusic.com. I'll link it up above and below as well. And you can see here on this list of all the different pieces that you can find in this Halloween specific book. Now, this one I would definitely say is probably more of like a level 4 or level 5. This book is definitely transcribing pieces of music that weren't originally written for cello, and is just writing it so that cello players can play it. But I will say that I'm a little bit hesitant about this book because when I was looking at it, it almost seemed like it was just like a computer software that just like took the original and then just transposes it for a cello reader. Some of the things don't actually sit in the hand very well, and it can be a little bit awkward. To be totally honest, I'm not even totally sure if cello players actually play off of this one or not. This one is definitely, though, a challenge. They have a lot of the classic Halloween music that you can see. So if you're looking for a challenge, then this would be the book. When I was looking at all the books that I have though for Halloween music, this wasn't necessarily my favorite, but maybe because it's like you really have to work at it to kind of get some stuff done, or to learn the music itself. But again, it's not something to discount. It's definitely on the list in terms of you want a book of Halloween music, this is definitely going to be on there. Okay, one book that I picked up recently is this one. It's called Special Occasions and Celebrations by Alfred Music. And this one is kind of fun because it actually has music associated with all of the holidays that you can find here in the US. It does come with a CD accompaniment. So again, it would probably have the cello with piano, and this is how it should sound, and then it will come with just an accompaniment track where you play along with it. So yeah, when I'm looking at this in the back, I literally just got this the other day. It has music for every month of the year. While some of it I kind of think is kind of interesting, for the month of October, it actually has the chicken dance, which I never thought would be associated with the month of October. I usually see that one in like weddings or something. But apparently the chicken dance is for Oktoberfest, and Funeral March of a Marionette, which is also found in other Halloween books here, that's also here associated with Halloween. So this one is definitely a fair mix of maybe like level 3 is about where I would put this book, because there is some shifting involved, and there is definitely, you know, accidentals to kind of worry about, sharps and flats. But is it like the hardest one out there? No. The one that I just talked about from Virtual Sheet Music, that one is definitely more challenging than this one. But again, it's kind of fun to have a song that you can learn for every month of the year. So this is definitely one that I would recommend. Next up, I want to actually bring up pieces of music that you actually would play on cello that I actually associate with, say, a spookier time of the year. First up would be Witch's Dance, which is actually found in Suzuki Book 3. It is a notorious piece for introducing hooked bowing and shifting up fairly high and going pretty fast. So it's definitely not for a beginner, but it's not super complex. So yeah, I would maybe put it around a level 3 for those of you learning. If you are going through Suzuki Book 3, I do consider it the hardest one of the book, to be totally honest, but it is definitely a fun one, and you can't forget it because it is literally called Witch's Dance. Next up, Squire wrote a piece called Tarantella, which translates to tarantula. And whenever I play this piece or have my students learn this piece, I always think of it as a little bit kind of spookier, a little bit creepy crawly. So I definitely think that this would be a piece for sure to learn around Halloween time. This can be found in Suzuki Book 6. It is definitely at least a level 4, maybe you can also consider it a level 5 piece because there's a lot of fast movements. You need to be able to read some tenor clef as well, and you're definitely shifting up very high. So I would definitely put it on the higher range of difficulties. So next up, I need to bring this up because it did come up last year when this particular TV series came out, and the actress was apparently playing cello on this show, and it is called Painted Black. And so I just want to put it out there that there are definitely a couple versions of Painted Black that is out there that I would probably trust to kind of learn the part off of, and that you can find off of musicnotes.com. There is one by Noose Cello. He's a fantastic cellist. I love watching his YouTube videos because it's just like all about the music and his playing. He has a great version of it on Music Notes. And then there is one that's by Nicholas Yee that's also on Music Notes as well. He is also another YouTuber cello person who puts out great videos as well. So those are two versions that I would definitely trust. I don't know about other transcriptions because as I've been talking to some of my cello colleagues too, some of it is actually just like physically not possible to play. And I think everybody should always just keep in mind the stuff that you see in TVs and movies of people actually playing the cello. You know, when you go into a studio and you record, there can be some stuff that's done that makes it sound amazing, but like, I don't know, if like an actual live person playing the whole thing from beginning to end with no cuts and no edits, like, you know, to be totally honest, it sounds really tricky to do, especially with the original version that you can find in the TV show. So, just gonna throw that out there. It is considered a Halloween piece only because a lot of people associate it with the show, but you know, when you're approaching it, just have a little bit of grace with yourself because it is a little bit tricky. Definitely like a level 4, level 5, only because you have to do kind of bizarro things with your hand in order to play all of those notes. Alright, so there is a compilation of all of the Halloween music that I have on hand. I'm sure there is a lot of other Halloween things out there. If there has been one that I missed that you feel is like super important, please be sure to leave a comment below and let me know. I would love to check it out. I confess that this time of year, it's always interesting to see what kind of music pops up and what people like to play. But I do think it's really fun to get into the spirit of the season by playing music that's associated with the season. I hope some of you guys will check out these books that I've talked about because, again, every piece of music that you ever learn, you can definitely learn some cello skills. There really isn't anything that will be a complete waste of your time, whether you are into Halloween music or not. I've left links to all of the Halloween music that I've mentioned in this video in the description box below, so if you are interested in any of it, be sure to check it out. In a future video, I will be covering specific pieces of music that you can find in any of these books, so be on the lookout for that. If there are any other questions or suggestions, please be sure to leave a comment below and let me know. I'm here to definitely help you learn all of the pieces of music that is out there. There's just so much great music that you can learn and you can have fun while you're learning cello. Check out the videos on the screen right now for some other fun pieces of cello music, and I've also linked my Spooky Sounds video where you can learn a lot of the effects that a lot of composers and cello people use for this season. I hope that you found this video super helpful to give you ideas of different pieces of music and different Halloween books that you can go out and buy, and I hope you guys all have a very happy Halloween. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!